Clark County 911.
Yo Tango.
On February 22nd, 2024, Laken Riley, a promising 22-year-old nursing student at the University of Georgia, sets out for what would be her final morning run. Little did she know that the day would take a tragic turn, forever altering the lives of her family and friends. Laken Riley was born on January 10th, 2002, in Marietta, Georgia, to parents Jason Riley and Allison Phillips, along with her 3 siblings. In 2020, she graduated from River Ridge High School in Woodstock, Georgia, where she participated in the cross-country team. Later, Laken would go on to study nursing at Augusta University in Athens, Georgia. She was also an engaged member of the Alpha Chi Omega sorority and had lived with her 3 roommates, Lily, Sophia, and Connolly. At 6:52 a.m., surveillance footage captured a man dressed in all black, carrying a white cup, lurking in the area for at least 3 hours. This man was later identified as Jose Ibarra, also goes by the name Victor, a 26-year-old undocumented immigrant from Venezuela, who had entered the United States in September 2022. He crossed the southern border of the United States near El Paso, Texas. Federal authorities apprehended him after he crossed the border, but he was later released into the country. There was no connection between Jose and Laken, and they did not know each other. He simply had malicious intentions. However, this is not the first time Jose ran into trouble with the police or been arrested. In September 2023, he was charged in New York City with endangering a child and a license violation. In October, he and his brother, linked to the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, were arrested in Athens for theft after being found with stolen Walmart merchandise. Between 7:01 a.m. to 7:57 a.m., Jose was seen on camera attempting to open the door of a nearby apartment 6 times. Inside, a female student was having a shower until she heard someone at the door. Alarmed, she calls out, "Excuse me." Startled, he ducks down and proceeds to go around the corner and look through her back window that is not visible in the camera footage. Realizing something was wrong, she promptly called 911, but the threat lingered.
Someone was trying to open the door, and then I said, "Excuse me," and then they just ran away, and then now they kept trying to look through my window.
Laken left her house at 9:03 a.m., heading toward Millage Avenue Extension. Just 2 minutes later, she was seen running south on the Millage Avenue Extension, her mobile phone clutched in her left hand. During this time, it is believed that Jose Ibarra was lurking in the wooded area, searching for his victim. When he saw Laken running, he picked up a rock and struck her, attempting to sexually assault her. At 9:11 a.m., she placed a 911 call, but there was no response from her.
This is Clark County 911. Hello, Clark County 911. Can anyone hear me? Clark County 911.
Yo Tango.
She fought back, but ultimately, he knocked her unconscious with nearby rocks and killed her. In the chilling audio, you hear the attack happening until the phone finally ends. It is believed that Jose was wearing black disposable gloves at the time of the incident, which were later found at the scene, although they were torn from picking up the rocks. The dispatcher tried to call her back, but again, there was silence. Around 9:40 a.m., he is seen leaving the wooded area. As the morning progressed, her mother attempted to reach her multiple times, with calls and texts going unanswered. By 11:31 a.m., Laken's roommates, concerned for her safety, left their house to search for her. They soon discovered her AirPods on a trail between Lake Herrick, near the intramural fields. The realization that something was terribly wrong began to set in. By 12:05 p.m., her roommates reported her missing to the police. A search ensued, and at 12:37 p.m., officers found Laken unconscious and not breathing in a wooded area, approximately 65 feet off the main trail. She was covered with leaves, her top pulled to her neck, and her pants down. Her sports bra was completely torn, indicating a violent struggle. The medical examination would later reveal severe injuries, including a skull fracture and multiple lacerations. As investigators combed through the scene, they found Laken's phone, which had a fingerprint smudged with blood. This fingerprint would later match Jose Ibarra's left thumb. Additionally, Laken was wearing a Garmin watch that recorded her heart rate, which showed a dramatic drop at 9:28 a.m., indicating she had been in a struggle for at least 17 minutes. The timeline grew even more compelling when police discovered a hooded jacket at 9:19 p.m. that night, in a dumpster close to Ibarra's apartment. They noticed long hair on the jacket, which later, forensic analysis revealed to be both Laken's and Jose's DNA, further linking him to the crime. Jose had attempted to dispose of the clothes he wore during the murder, changing outfits around 10:20 a.m., but police were unable to recover them as the dumpster had been emptied that morning. The following day at 2:56 p.m., police arrived at Jose Ibarra's apartment block. They found Jose sleeping and asked him to step outside. None of the 4 residents, including Jose, spoke English and required a police officer who could translate from Spanish to arrive at the scene. They notice a few scratches on Jose around his arms, back and neck. However, he denies his involvement with the situation that occurred earlier that morning. However, police grew their suspicion and document this. Police then arrest Jose that evening at 7:58 p.m. after a thorough investigation. His brother Diego became a person of interest as well when police learned he had a history of violence. Testimonies indicated that Diego had threatened another resident of their apartment complex, claiming he would kill you too if she spoke to the police about Laken's murder. However, this claim was later retracted, as the neighbor who made the statement mentioned she may have been intoxicated and couldn't recall if it actually occurred. Further evidence revealed that shortly before the murder took place, Jose took these photos wearing the same clothing identified on the surveillance footage captured lurking around the wooded area. During the trial, Jose's defense team attempted to deflect blame onto Diego, but the evidence was overwhelming. The injuries Laken sustained were consistent with blunt force trauma, and DNA evidence from under her fingernails confirmed a struggle between her and Jose. The prosecution presented a strong case, detailing the brutal nature of the attack and the evidence that tied Jose directly to the scene. In a heartbreaking twist, on the day of the murder around 8 p.m., the police arrived to deliver the tragic news to her parents and siblings.
I don't want to tell you yes or no because I don't have names. I don't know who anybody is. This is a pretty sensitive thing.
Jose Ibarra faced serious charges. On the 20th of November, Jose was convicted on all 10 charges, including felony murder, kidnapping with bodily harm, and aggravated assault with intent to commit rape. Jose chose to waive his right to a jury trial, resulting in his case being heard and determined by the judge. As prosecutors had requested, he received a sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. On March 7, 2024, the House of Representatives approved the Laken-Riley Act. If passed into law, the Laken-Riley Act would require the federal detention of illegal immigrants who commit burglary or theft and enable states to sue the federal government for not enforcing immigration laws in the hopes of preventing such a tragedy from happening again and and creating a safe future.